Alright, welcome back. Now, the last video had some technical difficulties. I am aware that the audio was missing in some parts. Now, that is because I had a weird copyright strike because of some music that randomly popped in. Now, the fun fact about the music, well, a car passed by that was blasting the music very loud, and my microphone picked it up, yeah, wasn't able to upload the video with the music in the recording. Now that's usually not a big problem because I can easily just remove the part or basically just mute the audio where the music can be heard. However, when I did that with the last video, for some reason the editor decided to randomly mute different parts in the video. It was just a small segment of like 30 seconds to a minute that should have been muted, but for some reason my editor decided to mute the whole video randomly. I don't know. This is probably the weirdest bug that I have seen in a while. But yeah, my apologies for that, and sorry if that video didn't end up being as good as it should have been. But well, hopefully today I'll be doing better since I decided to assemble a little solo PvP compilation. I just felt like doing it, and I haven't been doing solo PvP in a while. Actually, that's not true. I have been doing solo PvP quite often, although usually because of stats, solo PvP is a bit different. No, last time I talked about the Arby. Now, I don't know what part of the previous video was muted. I know it was around the beginning, although it mutes it randomly. Even now when I go and check the video out, it just behaves so weird. I don't know. I have no explanation on why it does that, but I'll just cover the Arby here again. So, this is the Arby with the new skin, I mean the new nanocore. I think, what was the name of the nanocore? I think it was like, I have to double check that actually, since Starbeat nanocore. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Starbeat nanocore. Okay. Now it is not upgraded. I don't have the primary attribute unlocked, but you do get some juicy stats later on if you decide to basically level up the core. You can get extra disruptor range, extra armor, extra web range. Extra web range is actually quite interesting. Does allow to use different tactics for the Arby, and I might be playing around with that in well, if I decide to level up the core, I'll definitely try to get some good stats, but the stats of the Starbit and core are pretty good, and I have a lot of materials here that I can just add to level up the ship and basically to unlock the extra stats here. I might do that. I might first get a lot more materials, because I know that leveling up another core can be quite expensive. Now, I know that I did swap the drones to the offense drones, but I tried to keep the RB a bit cheaper. My Stratius is basically using the high DPS drones, and my Stratius has 3500 DPS. Now I can get that same DPS on the RB. And actually, I'm very curious to know what would be the DPS. I have changed some of my skills for the RB. Basically, have improved the drones a little bit and other things along those lines. So let me put back the drones in the drone bay. I have some drones as backup inside of the drone bay of the Stratius. I also have some in the RB, but the RB is usually not using the more expensive drones, because you know the ship is a lot more affordable and it can also die quite easily. The Stratius is a bit different. The Stratius does perform in a very different way, actually. Okay, Let me put that one drone in its place. 930.84 DPS, which honestly is a decent improvement. It should go even more up. It's very interesting to know that the Stratios still has a bit more DPS, but you know, both of these ships are very unique in their own way. No, I haven't changed the rigs. I remember last time I talked about changing the rigs, but I didn't have time for that. Basically, I will replace a lot of these rigs just to make the ship more comfortable to fly. I mean, I have power grid rigs, but my power grid is basically not even used because the ship does rely on the tracking disruptors. And I usually fly the ship in this way, basically, with the damage. Actually, this is the Imperial Navy drone damage amplifier. I have the sentient drone damage amplifier in the Stratios. Although in this ship I have the more affordable one, so I can definitely push out a bit more DPS out of the Arby. And well, its paper doesn't have a lot of hit points, but at the same time it doesn't have to have many hit points because the goal and the idea behind this ship is to basically not get hit. And since I already have maximum skills for the Arby, all are basically on level 5, I definitely take advantage of the of all the skills. Now, since I already mentioned that the Stratus has higher DPS than the Arby, I just want to quickly compare these two ships out of curiosity because I want to see the stats side by side. Where is the Arby? Tier 10. This is the Arby. Okay, add to comparison. Sister of Eve is here, and let's add Stratios. Add to comparison. Let's take a look. Mostly interested in the drone bonus. Well, actually, they have the same drone bonus, drone damage bonus, okay. But why does my Stratios? Oh, well, besides the rigs, I think the extra high slot also does improve the DPS. But overall, both ships are definitely very interesting. Their price difference is the biggest difference. But you know, I like to fly both, and both of these ships are, as I mentioned before, fantastic. Now, just to quickly show you something on the Stratios, because this thing is also, as I mentioned before, quite similar to the Arby, but it does have the tackle purpose in most cases. Now, this is the sentient drone damage amplifier, and I was kind of confused because wasn't there a nest for drone damage amplifier? But what is a sentient one? Did they change the name of the amplifier? And well, I got curious to find that out, so I'll quickly do that real quick. Well then, it is not the nest form, it's actually this one. And this module seems like it is rare, although the nest form is definitely expensive. A very expensive module. Very expensive module. But you know, that was fun to find out. Alright, well, it will be time to undock, and it will be time to have some fun. Okay, now what do we have here? A starboard fleet and a Karako Navy on
Warp
the
drive
scanner.
active.
That's interesting. Okay, well, could be a bait. Let me cloak for a second just to scout the area first. I cloaked a little bit too late, so they might have seen me, but I'm fairly sure that I did manage to sneak in undetected. So, both of these ships have the criminal timer, and seems like both of these ships have taken some damage. Now, I don't really know what's happening here, but this is a very, I have to admit, this is a very weird moment here, very weird situation, because I'm not sure what these two ships are doing. Are they fighting, or are they both waiting out the criminal timer? Well, let's see what happens. Decloaked, my primary will be I'll just blow up the starboard fleet first. Both tracking disruptors on the starboard. I will send 1 point on the Karako Navy. Okay, starboard has been destroyed.
We're under attack.
Well, they both did shoot at me, so I suspect that this was a bait, although I am not really sure why both of the ships were damaged, and I don't know why both had the criminal timer. Although I don't know, a very weird situation indeed. Anyway, let me go and loot the wrecks. Oh, some C-types, nice, I'll definitely take that. And where is the other wreck? I did suspect that the starboard fleet might be a bit more expensive, so that's why I went for the starboard fleet first, and then after I'll go for the Karako wreck. Yeah, this was a bit less expensive, but loot is loot. So 111 million rapid missiles, a shield tank, okay, a comet core as well, and 158 million starboard. Also the comet core installed. Well, definitely one of the weirdest moments that I've had in a while. I have no idea what was happening there. But in any case, let's go to the next target. So we have a Vexor Navy. Now this Vexor Navy was last spotted inside of a
warp drive active.
Scout anomaly, so could be a bait. Usually if you spot a tier 6 cruiser or something like that, a sniper cruiser inside of a scout or inquisitor anomaly, that is most likely bait. Now I have the drone bombs installed. Well, I say installed, I have the implant, and the implant is decently leveled up. One of my newest implants that I bought, and so far, well, as expected, the drone bombs are very dangerous and they're very fun to use, honestly. But we will see what will happen when I eventually find this Vexor Navy. I think we have like 3 different scout anomalies, and I'm not really sure where is this Vexor. I'm not really sure what they're doing at this moment. So now at this moment I decided to go and dock to scan, but at the same time I figured out that if I scan that I'm going to lose some time and they might finish the scout, or they might warp. So while warping, I decided to go and basically cancel my docking procedure here and to go to try and find the Vexor the old school way. Now since I'm cloaked, well, I was cloaked, but I'll be cloaked again, I am not going to warp to the gate at 0, so that I can warp in cloaked inside of the 2nd and 3rd room. But I do expect them to be close to 0 when I warp in. Now the first scout anomaly was a bit further away, while these 2 ones are actually quite nearby. 1.67 astronomical units is the distance between the 2 scouts that I'm going to enter. Now they are low level scouts, and I also noticed that
warp drive active.
They have killed our base, so Not really sure what this Vexor is trying to do, but I'll definitely try to find them. Okay, second room is clear. Usually they do skip the second room and go straight to the third one,
Warp
because
drive active.
doing the second room is in most cases not that profitable, although in the high tier ones definitely players definitely run them because they can get some very juicy loot. Okay, so well, there is no juicy loot over here, that's for sure, which means that I'll go and look at that other
Warp drive
scout.
active.
Actually, we had 4 scouts. One of them disappeared. That's interesting. So this Vexor is running the scouts, which means most likely not a bait. Although I'm still quite curious to find out, and I'll try to find out. Okay, let's jump in. I lost cloak, but I'll cloak again in a second.
Warp drive active.
Not really sure how I decloak myself. Oh, actually I know, I warped at 0. Okay, second room clear, which means the third room might have the Vexor inside. Okay. I wish that we had the directional scanner so that I can... It would be so much easier to find where they are with the directional scanner, but you know, perhaps they'll add that, I don't know. So, fourth time is a charm, I guess, in this case. The last scouts, I'm fairly sure that the Vexor is over there. There is no other place where they can be, since they are running the scout anomalies in this system. So I will go and oh, there they are. Okay, they warped in the second room. Perfect. I was close by. Alright, I'm cloaked. Perfect. And now I'm warping in, well, jumping in technically, or warping in. It's a acceleration gate, so yeah. They will be close to 0. Okay, there is the Vexor. Decloaked, orbiting at 0. Drones are out. Now my drones here did bug out a little bit. My Valkyries decided not to shoot for some reason, although the drum bombs did already enough damage. Only the Valkyries are left to shoot, but you know, for some reason they didn't. And in any case, the Vexor has been destroyed. Alright, nice. Let's warp out. Well then, they had a scrambler, web, and a neutralizer, so definitely PvP ready. Although not really sure what kind of build they had. We're about to find out when I finish warping here. Quite curious to know what build they had. Didn't feel like a bait, definitely. Bait ships are usually much tankier than that, but definitely PvP ready. 72 million, okay. Well, not bad. I mean, it works, I guess. Not bad. Alright, let's go to the next target. We have a Cinnabon, and I am in the good old Arby. Orbit set at 23 kilometers.
Warp drive active.
Drone orbit is going to be set at 5 kilometers. The general unit is for tracking disruption, which means the tracking disruptors are going to absolutely shred the tracking of that Cinnabon. They are not going to hit anything. Now, this is, as I probably mentioned before, not a good warp-in, because you don't want to be
We're
at
under
close
attack.
distance, at close range, if your ship is built for kiting. But thankfully, the Arby was fast enough, so I was able to basically was able to quickly take distance and enter the stable 23-kilometer orbit around the Cinnabon. Now, as you can see, the tracking disruptors work really well. This was recorded before I had the drone bombs. The drone bombs are so fun to use. If I had the bombs on the RB in this case, this would have been much faster. But you know, old school PvP didn't have any implants, and this is pretty much old school PvP minus the tracking enhancement that have for the RB. And when I say tracking enhancement, I mean enhancement on the tracking disruptor, so that I ensure that nothing with turrets is able to hit the ship. The RB is evil. The RB is definitely very evil because of how good it works with the tracking disruptors. That Cinnabon is not going to hit. There is no way that they'll hit me. There's just no way, because of how the tracking disruptors work. And the Arby is actually also fairly fast. It's a speedy boat, but you know, not as fast as some of the other cruisers. The Bellicose is definitely much faster, but the Bellicose has a difference. A slightly, I would say, different role, but it still does get the job done really well. Okay, Cinnabon is now into hole. Almost lost points because my orbit was
Warning.
clumsy.
Capacitor running low. Warning. Capacitor running low.
And in a couple moments, the Cinnabon will be destroyed. There we go. Let's pick up the wreck. Well, some C-types. Not the best full drops, but you know, it's still fine. And let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
That was a nice catch. And basically with that kill, I opened the season, the Arby season. Was the first Arby kill in a while, and was a faction cruiser. I could have done the same thing with a tier 7 Arby, but my tier 7 Arby is currently kind of far away in nullsec. I have to pick that ship up. And not a bad build, a classic PvE Cinnabon. Not bad. It took 28,000 damage. Would be much faster with the if I had the drum bombs, but you know, it's still fine. Okay, next we have a Karako Navy. Now, in this case, I have the Arby fitted with guidance disruptors, and the Arby doesn't have any bonus on the guidance disruptor. But you know, if you are already flying the ship, and if you encounter a ship that has missiles, you can replace the tracking disruptors for the guidance disruptors and basically use the ship in this way. You can also add the guidance disruptor general unit, which will also improve the the stats of the disruptors even more. Which means the Arby is indeed quite the flexible little boat. And if you're roaming around with the Arby hunting, then I do recommend that you carry the build
Warp drive
with
active.
you in the cargo hold. Basically, you scan the target, and depending on the target you dock, change the build to counter the target, and then you engage. That is a very smart thing to do, and it is going to help you a lot at countering different ships, because you can't have one build for all ships.
Warp drive
And because of
active.
that, you can carry the build with you and basically change builds. If the system has a station, of course. If not, then go to the nearest system that has a station, change the build, and come back. No, I scouted the Navy first, and then I decided to engage. That was a good warping, very nice warping. The guidance interceptors are going to work. Basically orbiting within their optimal range. The Karako Navy is already in armor,
We're under
doing some good
attack.
damage with the missiles, surprisingly. Also the drones are doing the job really well.
We're under attack.
Oh, a shield extended. Okay, that's interesting. And the Karako Navy has been destroyed.
We're
Alright,
under attack.
let's pick up the wreck. Okay, and let's warp out.
Warp drive active.
Kind of nostalgic to fly the Arby in this way, because I used to fly the Arby like this, like all day long. It was so fun. I mean, it still is fun. I'm basically doing the same thing I did back then. So yeah, this is what I wanted to do. Basically, solo Arby roam, and basically just to have fun. All right, let's take a look at the kill. Yeah, let's not look at the kill. Yeah, let's just... Yeah, no thanks. Nope, not today. Way too cursed for this evening. Next targets, we have a Condor Interceptor. Now, this Interceptor
Warp drive
is
active.
obviously a bait. They have a PvP build. I think I mentioned this
Warp drive active.
in one of the previous videos as well. So I took the Stratios out because, you know, Stratios stealth tackle is just that good, and this ship is just so good for this job. Now, at first I actually failed to decloak for some reason. My ship did not want to decloak. I clicked on the cloaking device. It did not work for I don't know why. But I managed to quickly tackle and approach the Interceptor. Now, my drone orbit was messed up here. I'm not really sure why, but back to 4 kilometers. However, the rapid missiles were more than enough to kill this interceptor, especially with 3 webs applied to the ship. And that was a very nice loot drop. Let's warp out and let's cloak. Always nice when you
Warp drive
catch
active.
a frigate like that. The Stratios is a frigate killer. I would say the best ship to counter small ships with, because you sneak up to them, decloak, and tackle them and kill them before they can react. That's how the Stratios works. A lovely boat. 165 million, and here you can take a look at the build. Again, a decent PvP build. cheap and effective. Alright, well, jumping in the
Docking request accepted.
Macarial here because we have a Raven. I scouted the Raven with the Stratius. I basically scanned the Raven with the Stratius. Now I'm jumping in the Macarial. A lot of you guys been wondering, how do I scan without a scanner? Well, that's impossible. I don't scan without a scanner. I take the Astra or Stratius,
Undocking.
scan the target, scout the best warp in, I dock, change the ship into the, let's say, I don't know, into the Celos, into the Stratius, or into the Macarial, or into the Arby, or basically whatever ship is going to work best for the situation. And then I warp back to the target. Now, learning to predict the movement pattern without a
Warp
scout
drive
is
active.
definitely difficult. But since I've been doing this for 3 years now, I got pretty much used to it. So I memorized the orbit pattern of the Raven, and in the first like 20 seconds of observing the target and their movements,
Enemy ships
I can basically
detected.
project where they will be at what time, basically. So I am always going to land quite close to the target. Requires practice, requires some patience as well, but in the end, once you understand how that works, it just comes naturally. You will do it without even noticing. And since the Macarial is kind of a cruiser, a very large cruiser, it can easily just approach and tackle stuff like a cruiser. Works really well, and well, this
We're
Raven
under
is
attack.
not going to be happy because they're soon going to be blown up. And I love to shoot Ravens. I don't know why. I just like to shoot at these ships. They're fun to shoot at. And the Raven is also such a small battleship. Look how huge
We're under
this
attack.
Macarial is compared to the Raven. The Raven is like 3 times smaller than a Macarial
under
in
attack.
size. Kind of funny. Someone also mentioned like the Caldari battleships have cruiser are the size of a battle cruiser. Kind of true actually when you think about it.
Warp drive
They're very
active.
small ships. Although Angels have very big ships. $551 million, not bad. I also like how the asteroids are just everywhere when I land. Now, we had some visitors last week, although I haven't really had much time to
We're
camp,
under
but
attack.
what is this tornado trying to do? Sniping a Revelation at 25. I mean, okay, well, I guess someone has a death wish here. No, the Revelation can track. The Revelation can easily track, actually. And a second away from blowing up that tornado. Well then, fair enough. I keep the gate, I guess. And they warped off towards the sun or towards the... I actually have no idea where they went. And they are back. Round 2, I guess. Well, this time they landed at 92 kilometers, but they don't know that I have range. I can still hit.
We're under attack.
22, okay. That's the first hit. Second shot, 13,000, and I believe that they are already aligning towards the station, and yeah, they warped off. Oh well, that was fun. This ship is, after all, built for tank, so it will probably not have the highest DPS, but that was still pretty fun. Now, in the last videos, where the audio was all over the place,
Warp
I
drive
think
active.
it did cut me out when I was talking about what happened here. So, we have a rattlesnake, and I usually take the Macariel for most ships, but when I'm faced with something tanky, I usually pick the Megathon, because this thing has a siege mode and it has like 15,000 DPS, which honestly is more than enough to crack the shield of a rattlesnake. And one of the main reasons why I have this ship for this rattlesnake is because I expected a heavy tank, but I was wrong, and this is one of the fails that I had throughout the last week. Basically, I failed to tackle the rattlesnake. I messed up in a lot of decisions here. First mistake was to shoot before scrambling, because when I started to shoot them, that's where they got alerted, and that's when they started to warp out. If I didn't shoot until they were scrambled, then I would have I would have caught them, and I would have had a rattlesnake kill. But you know, it happens, not a big deal. And as I like to say, more luck next time. But was a nice attempt anyways. Nice attempt anyways. That was a I wanna looking at it now. Yeah. Pretty angry at myself for making these dumb mistakes. If it's because I expected the Megathon to be as fast as the Macariel, and
Warp
since
drive
I'm mostly flying the Macariel for battleships, and I got used to its speed. If that was a Macariel, I would have caught the snake easily. But unfortunately, it wasn't a Macariel. It was something much slower, and well, they escaped. And well, our last target for today is a Mauler. And they seem to be inside of this
Warp drive active.
scout, my apologies, Inquisitor normally. And well, could be a bait, could be a pilot who was just running PvE. Well, one way to
Warp drive
find
active.
out. Going in, and let's see. No, the Celos is such a fun ship. This thing is so fun. It seems underwhelming on paper, but man, it is honestly hilariously fun to fly this thing. It's awesome, honestly. I love this thing. Barrage engaged, scrambled, webbed, and that's a tanky Mauler, but high DPS, does magic, and there we go. Nice. Good catch. Alright, let's warp out. And let's cloak.
Warp
Since
drive
this
active.
is a cover top ship, it can cloak. A cloaky snubble, basically. Alright, well, that was a nice little roam today. The video was a bit shorter than usual, but hopefully no random music in the background that is going to mess up the audio again. No, 124 million ISK. Not bad, also pretty decent value. So, that was again a very nice little roam. Hopefully no copyrighted music snuck up while recording this. I don't know, like, my microphone, I know that it doesn't sound the best, obviously, but how the hell did it catch the music that's outside? I have no idea. You know, it's just the average bad luck that's just happening. It's been following me for a while, so I'm not really surprised by that. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. Does help out a lot. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.